Hi everyone. I have been inspired by Scrap and Happy's post. A few months ago she made some beautiful little heart sachets, and I decided to make my own hearts, but mine are not little sachets. Mine are padded friendship hearts. What I did was I drew a template in cardboard of a heart, and I do most of my projects in calico, and I wanted to do something in multimedia and try doing and experimenting with something different. And I had just recently discovered gesso, and some people who know me know what happened with me and gesso. And yeah, well, I gesso practically everything. Anyway, I took the gesso and I cut out two pieces of calico material in the shape of a heart. I sewed the edge of it, leaving a 5mm margin, and stuffed it with wadding, leaving an opening and stuffing a wadding, and it came like a cushion effect. But I wanted to do something on it, so I decided to gesso the heart front and the back, and it was lovely. It was a lot of fun, and I thought, well, I'm going to do something different. I decided to get my background stamp, and I used the vintage photo mat in Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I background stamped randomly in different areas of my heart, front and the back, as you can see here. And then I decided to use also the different colours in the vintage photos with ink, and I used the Fossilite Amber, the Mermaid Lagoon colour, and the Abandoned Coral, as well as the Cracked Pistachio colours, and I just stamped it randomly, and sort of like with some different colours there, and blending it all together, and it came out like this. And I thought, well, I'm going to use some gesso again. Gesso's become something of a favourite of mine now. And I took a template and gessoed some words off of a template onto it. It didn't work as well as I hoped, because it came out kind of well, blurry, and well, it didn't work. But I was happy with the outcome, because it gave it look like a little bit of a rainbow dreamy effect. And well, I thought I'd leave it as it is before I do any more damage to what I'm trying to make. So at the end, I decided to also add on a beautiful fabric print that I bought from a seller on eBay, and I padded a little bit behind it as well, and I glued that on there, and I added Chinese braid. I also had bought some paper flowers on eBay, and I glue them in there as well, and I made like a formation of a spray, including some roses, some paper roses, and some acrylic flowers in there as well. I took some piece of material, I don't know if you can see it, just in there under the wording, from the bottom of the material down here of my lady, that to fit in this area here, I cut a piece off, and I kind of frayed it a little bit, and I stuck it down, and I inked the edges actually firstly, and then I stuck it down. I inked it with the vintage photo distress ink, and then I took a piece of that printable fabric. I just cut a piece there, and I stamped in the vintage photo distress ink the word "just for you" out of my stamps, just in there, and I stuck it down, and I was really happy with that. I thought, this looks really good, but there was something missing on the edge, so I took a piece of a nice piece of lace that I bought from eBay a few months back, with a beautiful ribbon that actually matches sort of like the flowers here at the front, and I stamped it random colours as well that I used on my heart itself, all the way around it. And yeah, I was really happy with it, and I also recently discovered how wonderful stickles can be. So I stickled it, and I stickled all the flowers, I stickled the lady's hat as well as the shawl. I wanted to stickle some more, but I thought, no, if I do any more, I'm going to damage it. So that was one variation of my heart. So that's one friendship padded heart done. I was really happy with the outcome, and I really love this one. It's very sweet. But I thought I'll make another one. But I wanted to make a different variation of it. That was a sewn one. And this one here is a glued one. For those of you who don't sew, I thought I'm going to make one out of hot glue. So what I did the same sort of thing as I showed you in the first heart that I've made. I'll just get this out of the way. Excuse me. And I cut out 2 pieces of calico. I in the heart of the shape, the shape of the heart from my cardboard template, and I left a 5mm margin again, and I hot glued that margin all the way around, leaving an opening for the stuffing. When I have stuffed it fully, and I was quite happy with how much I want the stuffing to be, I hot glued the edge where I left the opening, and then I inked it first with the fossilized amber combined with the vintage photo distress ink as a background. You probably can see a little bit of the colouring in there, and it came up as a mottled sandy dirty colour, an earthly colour. It looked really quite nice. And I used all the lace that was left over from my my lace and doily book that I had made about a month ago, and the lace was all coloured in oh, what's it called? I've forgotten the name of it now. I'm getting stuck for words. The avocado dye. Oh, there we go. It's hard when you're on YouTube trying to describe things that you make. It was an avocado dye, and so I used pieces of lace. I also had placed a vintage picture of a lady that I bought from a seller on eBay, and I buy all my printed vintage images from her, and that's lace and dye. And I purchased some late paper flowers on eBay, and I had glued them down with hot glue again, and I took some lovely seam binding that I had left over from my lace and doily book, and I framed it around the vintage lady picture there, and I also added some little pearl coloured acrylics flowers in there, another one down here and one down here of a different sort. I added the lace, swag lace in the bottom with some beautiful little lace dangle bits that came with, that's actually attached to it. And again, it's just some bits of lace left over from my lace and doily book, and I added a little dangle piece down here that I cut to pieces and glued it down there to give it a more of a form of a V shape of the bottom of the heart, as well as some acrylic dangle crystals down here as well, and the shape of little hearts as well. And around the edge I had some lace that I took from my stash, and I placed it around the edge just to give it more of a like a thorny look. And then I had placed a lovely lace bridal motif of a flower that I had left over from my lace and doily book as well, and I put a cameo just in there because it's sort of like the same colour, of a sepia colour to my picture in the middle there, or off centre shall I say, not in the middle. On the back, again, it's an avocado dyed lace piece, large lace piece of bridal lace that I had left over from my lace and doily book, some dangle pieces of lace that I cut and placed on edges there as a filler from my lace and doily book, as well as a middle piece, one little piece in the top left over, and also some bits and pieces on the bottom as well. So yeah, that's my little heart, and that's a different variation. So that's the one that's all hot glued as well, and I added a ribbon as a hanger. So there's my 2 variations of my padded friendship hearts. I hope you like my post. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye now.